What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and say what you will about RIM, because there's been quite a bit of media speculation about their chances of survival in this busy mobile market, but they're not taking the criticism laying down. They're releasing a bunch of new BlackBerry smartphones. They have the bold 9900, 9930 series. It's out on Verizon, coming to Sprint and to T-Mobile in the coming days. Then you have the Torch 9850, 9860 coming to Sprint very, very soon. Then you have the BlackBerry Torch 9810 available as of August 21st on AT&T, and you know, design-wise looks pretty similar to the original Torch device, but the specs are much improved. 1.2 gigahertz processor. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. Same size display, but it's a higher resolution display, so you see some improvements there. And 720p HD video recording. Now, on top of all of that, it's running BlackBerry 7. So the question is this a legitimate smartphone in today's iOS and Android world? Well, we're going to find out a little bit of that in the unboxing. But first, special thanks to my friends at Best Buy, because when you go into Best Buy Mobile, you walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, and more on this phone. They hook us up with a lot of phones in the One Paw Bandit game, so that's our way of saying thanks so much. So check them out when you can. Best Buy Mobile and online at bestbuymobile.com. Let's take a look at this phone. Torch 9810, 4G, BlackBerry 7, better processor. Can it compete? Let's find out. First, they have the Torch 9800. Well, now they're launching the Torch 9810. This is branded as a 4G BlackBerry, according to AT&T, because it supports AT&T's HSPA Plus speeds, at least up to 14.4 megabits per second, theoretically. Now, this is coming to AT&T on August 21st for $49.99. And you know, all in all, the design, there are a few minor changes. The silver, it's silver as opposed to a kind of a platinum, darker gray. The battery cover is a little bit different, and obviously there's some huge specs internally, but from a design perspective, it looks almost exactly the same. Actually, it does look exactly the same with the exception of the colors. Now, this is one of 3 BlackBerry designs that are coming to the market, in the process of coming right now. You have the Torch 9810 over here. Let me go ahead and put the battery in so you can see. Torch 9810, you know, really a successor to the 9800 and more of an evolutionary successor. Then you have the bold 9900, 9930, which is over here, and that's what that looks like, kind of a successor to the bold 9000. And then you have the Torch 9850, 9860, which is a successor to, in a lot of ways, to the Storm line. So even though it's being branded as a Torch device. So 3 different designs for 3 different people, and they all range in price as well. This is $49.99, for example, and you may say, hey, this looks cheap in comparison to the 9930, and you know, it does to me. I mean, I think there's no metal around the sides like the 9930, but here, this one starts at $250. So $250 for metal and all that stuff, $49.99 for this design. So it's personal preference. You know, I will say the 9930 is my personal favorite out of the ones that have been launched so far. Now, granted, I haven't had any hands-on with the Torch 9850 just yet, but in terms of design, this is not my favorite design. But for the price point, you can't beat that, and it's a good price point given the fact that AT&T has the iPhone and a couple of other high-end Android smartphones. So here's a quick start guide. You get Connect Me, safety and product information. Then out of the box, you get a polishing cloth, and we'll see. We'll open that up just to see what it looks like. Because I know you wanted to see. When you woke up this morning, you're like, I want to see what polishing cloth comes with these new BlackBerry smartphones. Well, here you go, friends. It is, help if I can turn that the right way. BlackBerry on the bottom, and super nifty polishing cloth that I'm going to put back in the box because it's going to blend in with this battery, or with this table cover if I don't. Then you have some regular stereo headset, or regular earbuds here, with a mic, an inline mic, and pretty standard earbuds, nothing to write home or to be too excited about. Then you have this BlackBerry dongle here, this AC adapter module that we've seen from past models, seen in the previous Torch. It's the kind of blocky looking one with the USB cable input over there on the side. And then you have a USB cable over here, which I don't really need to take that out because you know what it looks like. So that's what you get in the box. You do not get a holster like you do in the 9930, but again, back to pricing, this one's $50. The Torch 9930 and 9900 starts at $249. T-Mobile's is going to be a whopping $349 before taxes. So it's a little expensive, but pricing aside, that's what you get in the box. So let's power this sucker up and see. So there it is, AT&T, and I'm going to take this off the back. Now, a lot of people are like, this battery cover is pretty gaudy. It is a different design, a little bit of a different design from the Torch 9800. You'll notice that I don't actually have my Torch. Do I actually? Yeah, there it is. Hang on. Here's the original Torch. So you can see the differences in terms of color. Hold those side by side so you can see. But in terms of design, almost identical. I really can't tell a difference in the design. Now, under the hood, much different. 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. High resolution display, VGA display, 5 megapixel camera on the back with 720p HD video recording capabilities, and also it's running BlackBerry 7, which really is BlackBerry OS 6.1, but it's 7 from a marketing strategy. But it is a revised version of BlackBerry's operating system. So you'll notice right out of the gate, if you're familiar with BlackBerry, you'll notice some icon differences. But other than that, much like the 9930, this is a very fast device. I again prefer the design of the 9930, but that's obviously subjective. I happen to like how they implemented the touchscreen with this one, but still for $50, good deal over here. But still very, very fast. You can see that 1.2 gigahertz processor at work. And if you're used to the speed of a BlackBerry, it's funny because with all of these coming in, I've really had to adjust my speed and how I use the device because I'm used to kind of a BlackBerry lag, as sad as that sounds. So when here, text messages, for example, just to show you really quickly, I want to show you the on-screen keyboard. That's a change as well. There's a new on-screen keyboard. It looks different. Of course, you can use it in portrait or in landscape mode. 3.2-inch display. So we'll say the Quick Brown Fox jumped over the barrel. Whoops. Well, let's do Quick Brown Fox jumped over the phone. How about that? That's better. Quick Brown Fox jumped over the phone. So pretty easy to type on. I still prefer the physical keyboard. Obviously, personal preference there. And then by clicking that, you can get rid of it. So you'll notice a lot of little minor changes in BlackBerry 7, like little icon changes like that. But that gives you an idea. Now the keyboard is about the same size, to my knowledge, as the original Torch. I don't really see a size difference there. But and that's something, if you're coming from a Bold 9000 or the 9930 for whatever reason, you'd be coming from that. I'm not sure, but coming from a 9000 or coming from a 9700, this is a smaller keyboard. It's something that's right along the side lines of the Style 9670 and some of maybe the Bold 9650. Let's say it is a smaller keyboard. It's a little bit harder to type on if you have big thumbs, but beyond that, very similar to BlackBerry 6, which came on the Torch, which was actually the flagship device to get BlackBerry 6 when it first came out. But you'll see, the browser's been much improved. I just have to show you this. But actually, before I show you that, let me tell you what's pre-installed on the device. You'll notice that, again, a lot of the icons have changed, and it is a higher resolution display. So you notice that right out of the gate in comparison to the original Torch. And of course, the camera's not doing it justice. But you can see out of the box, you get YP Mobile, Facebook, Twitter. You get the typical folders on applications. You get AT&T Family Map, My AT&T, Code Scanner, Weather Channel, Bloomberg, Fandango, Wikitude, Documents to Go, BlackBerry Protect, and then of course all the messaging services, and then Google Maps. So that's what you get out of the box. And of course, it has access to BlackBerry App World. Now it's painfully behind iOS and Android in their respective app markets or app stores, if you will. But still, at least you do get access to that. But again, I just want to underscore, I really want to talk about the speed. Look how much of a speed difference that is. Just when you're doing things like that or when you're opening menus, I mean, it pops up very, very fast. Media loads without a hitch. Pictures, bam, wallpaper, and just how easy it is to scroll between. So they've really made an improvement in the speed department. It puts it right on par with some of these 1 and 1.2 gigahertz Android devices that are out on the market. Now this has a 1,270 milliamp hour battery, so the question remains, honestly, battery life's been pretty bad so far on the 9930. It's very un-BlackBerry-like. So the question remains, this one's a little bit bigger, but with a faster processor, how's the battery life going to be in comparison not only to the previous Torch, but a lot of the other BlackBerries? Because BlackBerry users expect good battery life. And with these smaller, sub 1,300 milliamp hour batteries, the question is, will these be able to make it through a day? But otherwise, let's take a look at the browser, and we'll load up phonedog.com just so you can see huge improvements in the browser department. 40% faster than BlackBerry 6, 100% faster than BlackBerry or OS 5.0. Pinch to zoom performance is fantastic on the browser. It's a huge improvement from BlackBerry 6 and a huge improvement from BlackBerry OS 5.0. Now, it's not quite up to par with iOS and Android, but it definitely bridges that gap from where they were even with BlackBerry 6 up to now. It's finally a legitimate contender in the browsing market. So much better. You can see the transitions are very fast. You can see that 1.2 gigahertz processor at work. So if you're considering this one, maybe considering the Bold 9900 series, considering the Torch 9850 series, the browsing performance is much better. Now, somebody coming from BlackBerry is going to love this. If you're coming from iOS, coming from Android, or perhaps you're a new smartphone user and you're considering between all of them, there's still a little bit of an advantage with iOS and with Android. That said, there's a tremendous improvement. We'll put those to the test more in dogfights, the browser part of the dogfight. I look forward to doing that. So keep it locked on phonedog.com for continuing coverage on the BlackBerry Torch 9810. Special thanks to our friends at AT&T for hooking us up with the 9810. Means a lot to us. And be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/phonedog. We're giving away a bunch of tablets as part of our greatest tech giveaway ever. So check it out and like us, facebook.com/phonedog. And hey, follow me on Twitter as well, phonedog_Aaron. Hit me up with questions about this device, any of the BlackBerry devices that are coming out, or just come in and say hello. I'm a good guy. I enjoy talking to you. PhoneDog_Aaron. And on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage of this little portrait sliding BlackBerry Wonder. We'll see you next time.